Today I wanted to talk about a certain specific thing that's been happening in Yu-Gi-Oh! Over the course of the past few years. Konami has been giving cards, or rather decks, recently brand new support in big waves. Recently we've seen this with Hungry Burger with the new Novels archetype. We also had Fortress Whale with the Mako Duelist pack or Shark Duelist pack. And we also saw in the Mega Tins with Magician of Black Chaos Max. Now, these are just a few examples of virtual monsters getting retrains or actual decks. One of the things you can also go back to are other decks, kind of like Blue Eyes, getting a ritual monster like Paladins. Because we have many of them, Paladin of Dark, White, Storm, and Photon for all their specific type of monsters, being Red Eyes, Blue Eyes, Cyberse monsters, and also Galaxy Eyes, which is pretty cool. And we also have Paladin and Cursed Dragon for zombie monsters. But today we're going to be talking about actual ritual monsters that I could see in the future getting support. There are 10 of them, and let's start with the list. First off, we have Doku Rider. This is a tournament pack card and very, very worth so. This is one of the cards that people really want to see support for, since this came out all the way back in the year of 2002 in Tournament Pack Season 2. This recently got a reprint back in 2020 from the Speed Duel Battle City box, which actually granted it a very nice reprint and a common rarity. After that, a card that I am very sought after, Performance of Sword. Performance of Sword is a interesting card because you can only summon it with Commencement of Dance or Commencement's Dance. This was a card that I really liked back when I was younger because of the reason that it was in a Forbidden Memories card and it came out in 2002 in Magic Spell Ruler. So that's one way early card of the game from way back in the day. Next up we have Fiend's Mirror, another card from pretty much everyone's childhood. This was a original card that came out in the OCG back in Premium Pack 2 in 1999, but 2012 for TCG in the Premium Collection tin that also had other very useful cards like Meteor Black Dragon and Blaze Phoenix, the Burning Bombardment Bird. After that, we have Lycanthrope. This is a card that people love to meme about because it is a funny looking card, but also when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each normal monster in your graveyard. This card could possibly see some play. It was printed back in Strike of Neos back in 2007, so it could be one of the options that they could have for a brand new archetype. After that, another card I'm fond of being Super Warline. This is one of the cool looking cards, and this came out in Premium Pack 2 back in 2008. Very sought after card as well because it was also a very, very early prize card with the Blacklisted Soldier way back in the day. Next up is Legendary Flame Lord. This is one that people always pop up into conversation when they're talking about lore of Magistus, and people think that this is part of the lore, but it is not. This came out in Dark Revelations Volume 1 as a reprint, but Dark Crisis in 2003. This card is each time you or your opponent activates one spell card, place one spell counter on this card. Remove 3 spell counters from this card to destroy all monsters on the field except this card. So it's slightly like a Judgment Dragon. After that we have Chakra. Chakra is another card that I think is pretty cool art-wise. And this came out in Number Hunters for us in 2013 for the TCG, but it was released in Dark Ceremony Edition back in the year 2000, which gave OCG Blackluster Soldier, Fiend's Super War Lion, Zera the Man, Javelin Beetle, Chakra, Fortress Rail, and Skull Guardian. Which, this premium pack is one that is definitely a very high collectible one, since it has all these amazing ritual monsters. Now, after that, we have Javelin Beetle. This is a earth insect monster, and surprise, surprise, it is definitely one card that could see support in the future with how much insects we've gotten, with how powerful they're also becoming, with how much generic cards there are. After that, we have our lovely friend Zera the Mant. This came out in Premium Pack 1 for the TCG. Same for Javelin Beetle. So these two cards could go in hand, and Zera the Mant could be the one to get support next. After that, we have the Masked Beast. The Masked Beast is a very iconic card to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it was part of the anime and was used by Umbra and Loomis when they were tag dueling Yugi and Seto, which honestly is a very, very cool nod back from all the way back in Labyrinth of Nightmare. This card being the 3200 monster that hits first and asks questions later. But finally, the one card that I didn't have listed is because this is the one that I would love to have as new support. Skull Guardian is one of the cards that I've really, really loved in any type of game because of how cool it looks and how much it really deserves the love. It was only printed in Tournament Pack Season 2 with Novox's Prayer. Now, Novox's Prayer is the only card in the game to date that is still labeled as a magic card. This is the one that might get a speed duel print soon, but we'll have to see on that. And honestly, I want to know what you guys think about all these cards. Which one would you be super excited for if it got support in the future? In my opinion, my top 3, Skull Guardian, Zera the Man, and Javelin Beetle. Those are my top 3 choices for new cards for their own archetype if Konami does that one day. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider, and see you guys in the next video, and goodbye.